John Fitzgerald Kennedy, affectionately called JFK, was our 35th president of these United States. JFK was born on May 29, 1917 in Massachusetts and had 8 siblings. As a child, a young JFK was sickly, always struggling from one ailment or another. Though he was persistently sick, he refused to let it keep him down, striving to succeed both academically and athletically, resulting in his attendance of Harvard.
After graduating from Harvard, JFK joined the Navy and fought in World War II. During the war, he was assigned to a torpedo boat in the South Pacific. JFK's brave and altruistic actions during the war resulted in his receival of the Navy and Marine Corps Medal, a prestigious reward.
Once returned from war, JFK ran for a seat from Massachusetts in the House of Representatives in 1946 and won. He proceeded to win the next 3 elections for the House when in 1952 he ran and won a Senate seat. Then, in 1960, JFK decided it was time to make a run for the presidency, a lifelong goal and dream of his. In the election, JFK and running mate Lyndon B. Johnson, a Democrat Texan senator, beat at the time current Vice President Republican Richard Nixon. His victory in the election marked the country's feelings and the desire for a young, charismatic president. This victory also marked the youngest presidency and the first Catholic in the office of the presidency.
JFK's White House was ripe with optimism and hope, and some reporters juxtaposing it to King Arthur's Camelot. His ambition knew no bounds, wanting to help solve racial discrimination imposed by segregationist Jim Crow policies, or reaching the moon. Although he was mostly inexperienced, and therefore some not taking him seriously, his policies were hopeful and
JFK's presidency was also marked by troubles in the Cold War, a conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union regarding ideology and government. Namely, some troubles in his presidency involved the Bay of Pigs incident in 1961, where the president authorized the sending of CIA-trained Cuban exiles back to Cuba to carry out the communist government of Fidel Castro. Other troubles involved the Berlin Wall, when East Germany put up a nearly 12-foot wall to keep its people from leaving East Berlin. The biggest problem of his presidency was arguably the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, where a nuclear war almost came to fruition if the Soviets had not turned their boats around when they were carrying nuclear warheads to the Cuban shore.
However, JFK was still loved by the people, so his being slayed on November 22, 1963 was a tragedy for the United States. JFK had arrived in Texas a day prior to give some political speeches when on the day he was slowly being driven through Dallas in a convertible, shots were taken at the president by Lee Harvey Oswald.
That day in Dallas was a hot one, which is why JFK had broken protocols to have his convertible roof down, an item to which the Secret Service attributes some blame for. That being said, JFK was known to want to be seen by the cameras, as he was a photogenic man, but this time it happened to have an unfortunate result. The following is the Zapruder film, footage from the actual assassination taken that day, slowed down and touched up.
Oswald was taken into custody for the murder that day, but killed while in custody 2 days later by mob man Jack Ruby.
The immediate effect of the brutal assassination of JFK was Lyndon B. Johnson becoming the president. This immediate effect would help keep the legacy of JFK alive, as JFK's policies in ending segregation and the subjugation of African Americans were passed by the brilliant legislative abilities of LBJ. Some longer-term effects were the end of the era of positive politics, in which boosting your own credibility in lieu of attacking your opponent had been killed alongside JFK. This can be seen in presidential political ads. For example, let's take JFK's 1960 ad.
What is Kennedy, 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 Kennedy. Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
In that ad, it was positive and cheery, but now let's compare it to the ad LBJ ran in 1964.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7,
are the stakes to make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other or we must die.
Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.
It is clear that JFK's positiveness and the innocence of the country had been robbed in the assassination of a great and beloved man. In LBJ's ad, he likens his opponent winning, resulting in a violent death for all.
However, many citizens still question the assassination that occurred on that fall day in November. Even though the Warren Commission, a committee that investigated the assassination, concluded that Oswald had acted alone on his own desires, the commission's findings had not squashed the controversial conspiracy theories in which some speculate the mob, CIA, or Soviet Union were involved in the murder.
In the end, JFK's assassination ended the life of a man who wanted to better these great United States, and even though there were troubles and mistakes made within his presidency, his open optimism led many to trust, love, and believe in JFK.
Hi, I'm Clive Egglesby.
And I'm Reginald Featherbottom III, and we're from the Smithsonian National Institute. I'd like to give a big thanks to Sam Marks and David Strodthausen for their reporting. Oi.
Yeah, old Reg and I were in the field in Dallas, Texas when we found the Marxhausen film in the archives. It is a nice film that takes a different approach to the Zapruder film of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Enjoy.
And JFK is being driven. Oh, and he's been shot. The president has been shot. The Secret Service is coming to his aid, but the president is down, folks. The president is down.
Oi, how tragic. Thank you for watching, mate.